Since the Sandbox fans, we're back for episode 2 of the week. We just gave you guys our fantasy rankings, broke down last week a little bit, talked about some bets, waiver wires, injury updates, so much. So make sure you guys go and check that out. But week 2 just ended. Week 3 is coming up. You might be 0-2. You might be really head scratching about some of these guys. So we're going to break down panic or don't panic with just a couple of fantasy names here. So nothing too crazy. But I just feel like these are the guys that you really kind of want to be wary about as you continue to proceed because, yeah, right now, you're not slapping that panic button, but you go 0-3 or one of your guys gets hurt and you're stuck with what's left of your roster or some of these guys, it's gonna be real tough. So I'm going to start with a don't panic first. This guy hasn't performed well. I think part of the offseason is a large part of that. But Brandon Ayuk. I think Brandon Ayuk is a guy that you cannot panic about. Like, let's keep in mind, this dude was with the 49ers for, quite some time, obviously, like the past couple years. And, we heard everything that went on with the offseason. But it takes a couple weeks to get into football shape, a football condition. And yeah, the drops were uncharacteristic. And after he gets like the bag the way he does, like the expectations, like, hey, you got to catch those balls. And I think we're going to start to see some of that this week, especially with the Debo injury. So I am saying don't panic. And for me personally, I'm keeping a tab on the guys that have him on a roster because if he has another bad week this week, I might have to make a move for Brandon Ayuk, if you want me to be honest with you.
100% agree. Do not panic.
Yeah.
They paid him a bunch of money. They're going to find ways to get him the ball. And he has the talent. We've seen he has the talent. He's not going to Kenny Galladay this shit. Like, he's going to be all right. Don't panic. Ayuk's a great player, and he will show it to you. Stay clear. Unless you're in one of my leagues and you want to.
You know who I am panicking about, though? I feel... but I also kind of knew that at the same time. Do you want to take a guess? Zamir White.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
If I'm a Zamir White owner, I'm fucking shook. I'm panicking. I'm like, what do I do? Like, what? This is a guy you probably drafted to be like your RB2.
If that's the position then you're in, 100% panic. Now, I have him in one of my leagues in RB4. I got Mondre, I got Kenneth Walker, I got James Cook above him. So I'm okay with that and just letting it play out. If he's in your starting lineup and you needed him to be in your starting lineup, whether it be a wide receiver 2 or flex.
Extremely concerned and make a move right now.
Yeah.
Now.
I'd be very, very nervous going forward. I agree. I don't want to agree with you on all of these, but it's hard to say. Like, they try and get him the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
But he never has success with it. And they are not having success in the running game. And
at all.
They are not a team that's going to be... I thought they'd be teams or a team that's going to be winning a lot of games. Looks like a lot of these games they're going to have to claw their ways back from what we've seen in the first 2 parts of the season. That doesn't spell good part for the run game.
No, absolutely. I agree. So I want to ask you on this one because I know how I feel. But is it a or is it a chill? Amari Cooper.
We're really on the brink here.
Yeah.
We're on the brink, but I just put him in the rankings. You can find out where. So now we're going to back that point.
Yeah, we know.
Now we're going to back that point.
That's kind of why I had to ask you. I'm like, all right, what's this dude going to do right now? Is he fucking with me or what?
Back myself into a corner here. All right, we got it. Not yet.
Why are you not panicking on Amari Cooper?
Because his play has been directly impacted by how fucking terrible Deshaun Watson is. They have a new play caller, so things are a little bit different. They're working it out, and the Browns are still a team that can win football games. And when you're winning football games, or it's coming down to the wire, you need to get the ball to your best player. And as long as Nick Chubb's still hurt, Amari Cooper is their best player, and they're going to scheme ways up to get him the ball. It may not look pretty for the next couple weeks. I'm remiss to start him until I see something out of him.
How long is that leash, though?
You got 2 more weeks. You got 2 more weeks till week 4. I'm not putting him in yet. Maybe this week because he got a great matchup.
My God.
but I'm just... I'm not panicking yet because you can also look at this and say, well, we're going to fucking pull the plug on Deshaun Watson. You put a quarterback in there, they're going to go, who's going to be the guy I want to get the ball to?
Bro,
Amari.
I'm extremely panicking on Amari Cooper because this isn't a guy that you're drafting like in round 10, right? Amari's a dude that you're drafting in like the conversations of Brandon Ayuk and Devonta Smith, right? And trust me, I get it. Like, we just talked about Brandon Ayuk. What?
You want to hear the worst keeper in our entire keeper league?
Oh, God.
It's Amari Cooper for round 3.
That's bad. But look, the reason why you need to panic, like, you're slamming that button right now is because Amari Cooper's best games happened with Joe Flacco. David Njoku's best games last year happened with Joe Flacco.
Very factual.
This dude hasn't caught over 40 yards this season. This dude hasn't had more than 3 receptions in a game, and that offense has looked god-awful. So you're telling me without Nick Chubb, without Joe Flacco, and with a worse offensive line than what they've had in the past years, that I'm supposed to feel better about this dude? I don't feel confident he's going to catch 1,000. I don't feel confident that he's going to have more than 6 touchdowns, if you want me to be real with you. Yeah, it's early in the season. It's week 2. But this is not what you expected to see. And this is a guy that's been a consistent 1,000-yard receiver, played for a travesty Raiders team, did it in Dallas consistently, came to the Browns and did it with 5 different quarterbacks last year. Now you have one starter you're paying $230 million, and he can't get your best wide receiver of the football. Fucking panic.
But at what point do the Browns pluck him?
Deshaun?
Deshaun. Because do you think that without Deshaun, Amari stands a chance to bounce back?
I don't know. And I think that's more concerning is that that's the conversation.
Okay. Like, so what is it? It's DTR or it's who else?
Jameis.
DTR and Jameis? Jameis isn't really hitting like a 5-yard out too well.
So like it's just what I mean, and I just don't know if their quarterback styles fit well with like Amari Cooper either. So this is one that I'm really
dicey.
nervous about. And another one, I'm panicking. This is a guy that I have in over 50% of my leagues, Terry McLaurin. I just talked about this on the fantasy rankings episode a tad because, I mean, Terry McLaurin wasn't a guy I was drafting in round 3. I was drafting him like well after round 5. Yeah.
Yeah, he's 7.
But I did have the expectations in an improved offense with Cliff Kingsbury that this dude would be able to just be the receiver that he was. I'm not asking him to be a 1,500-yard receiver or anything like that. I want 70 catches, 950, 700, 7 touchdowns. Yeah, not 700 touchdowns.
Yeah,
7,
that'd be nice. That'd be very nice.
Not in the NFC East. I'm panicking because I don't know if Jaden Daniels has the long ball. I know he can run the ball. I've seen him complete some passes, but what we elaborated on in the fantasy rankings episode was Terry McLaurin's strength isn't the yards after the catch. It's the give me a chance to go and catch that damn ball. And he's not getting any of those balls.
I think that pause. I think that comes with confidence from there it is right there too. I heard it. As Jaden Daniels, look at me so cautious how I say everything right now. With Jaden Daniels progressing, getting better, I think his confidence growing is what will bring Terry McLaurin to that next level. And I think that it's going to come with time.
He did have 6 targets. He did have 8 fantasy points this week. But, I mean,
there will be times where he's one-on-one and Jaden Daniels is going to need to learn. You just got to throw it and hope Terry gets it.
Yeah.
He will learn that. I have full confidence in Jaden Daniels' ability to grow throughout this entire season and evolve different parts of his game. Will the deep ball come fully by the end of the season? I don't know, but I think he's going to work on it, and I think we're going to see some plays from Terry.
What really scares me, though, is like the fact that like Jaden keeping the ball as a playmaker, B-Rob being a playmaker, and Eckler just being so available and like more than willing to touch the ball as much as it's needed. I just really feel like that's kind of like the point. And like the role that Terry's playing now is kind of what I thought Ertz was going to play. So maybe that does mature as we, continue. And like I said on bold predictions, like if Washington can compete to win this division, especially with the way the Eagles and Cowboys look, that would have to be, the expectation. Kenneth Walker. No?
No, I think it's more safe with them. I think they're just going safety precautions here. Hey, we're playing a New England team that should be beatable. Well, they made it closer than they wanted to, but let's not strain Kenneth Walker, like you said in the rankings episode. You can't strain him. He has injury history. He's going to be one of your best players in the team. You need that run game to be successful. You drafted a guy in Charbonnet in case there was anything that was wrong with Kenneth Walker. Use him for that. I'm a Kenneth Walker owner in multiple leagues. Love Kenneth Walker. But I am not concerned. Every time he goes into the game, he is going to drop 15 plus.
How much of the injury history are you thinking of when you hear the name Kenneth Walker, though? I'm thinking about it often.
I do think about it a lot, but I'm really not that concerned with it this year. I think he's going to finish this year healthy.
I'm not at the point where I'm like, oh my God, I need to find a way to get rid of this dude before he is down for the long term. But it's definitely a thought in my mind. I'm not panicking either, just especially from what we've seen and what we've heard about the injury at hand. But I will say it's getting close. In a week or two, I'll have a more definitive answer. If he doesn't step on the field for the next 2 weeks, I am going to be concerned.
What do you need to hear to not be concerned?
I just need him to show up and play for 5 weeks straight.
Okay.
With playing like himself.
So he misses.
There's nothing that I need to hear. If he misses this week, it's okay.
If they say, though, he misses this week, hey, this is more precautionary. We expect him to be good to go week 4, but we're going to play it safe this week. Does that make you feel okay?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm not feeling great.
Okay.
Because I thought it was just going to be a 1 week injury. I mean, I'm not accounting projections, but the apps are predicting this dude to play, or the experts.
They were doing that last week too.
Yeah, no, but I do think that there's a better opportunity for him to play this week. Jaden Reed.
No. The second Jordan Love comes back, and it looks like he's going to come back before week 8. That's what it looks like. He hasn't even been put on the IR yet, and we're seeing teams, they figured out what the injury was last week, and then they put them on the IR this week. The second Jordan Love comes back in this game, Jaden Reed is the focal point for him, other than Josh Jacobs.
I don't think week 1 is the norm, though.
No, because I think the touchdowns boost that, but I do think he's going to get 4 or 5 catches a week. I do think he's going to get 70-ish yards.
Scrimmage yards.
No, I think he's going to get 70 receiving yards, and I think he's going to have 11-yard end-around rushes, and I think one or two of them he's going to break.
Bust it, yeah.
So, I think it's going to be sprinkled in there. I think he's going to be an effective 13 to 17-point guy.
I'm not panicking on Jaden Reed, and I do think a large part of that is the quarterback position, but a huge part of me always considers, the depth that they have at that position, and the fact that we haven't heard Dobbs yet. We're going to. Yeah. He's going to be, a factor in this. Wicks caught a touchdown or 2 already this season. It's not that Jaden Reed doesn't have the ability. It's just with the way that offense is ran, can he be a consistent enough option that he's a starter? And with all the injuries right now, yes, absolutely. But I also know that this is a guy that dealt with some injuries too. So he's definitely a conversation guy. He's not a definite one way or the other. And I feel the same way about this guy. And with the news about Pacheco this week, I definitely feel like it's more of a conversation. But I wanted to toss the 2 tight ends in here that I talked about, very vocally going into the fantasy season was Travis Kelce and Sam LaPorta. Are you panicking on Sam LaPorta? Because that's kind of crazy. You get if you're not there yet.
If I drafted him in the 3rd round, I am.
Yeah,
I am. But that's actually where most people drafted him. So if I'm a Sam LaPorta owner, yes. I'm actually not a Sam LaPorta owner in any of my leagues.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.
I got you, dude. Thanks for the insight.
Yeah. You got it for free.
But no, I look at, I think they'll get him the ball. I think they'll get him the touchdowns. But again, I'm not happy where I drafted him.
Yeah.
That's why if I drafted him at the spot that everyone drafted him, I'm not happy where I drafted him.
And the same thing with Travis Kelce.
I'm always out on Kelce, so I won't bias that one up.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, after week 2, this is just kind of where we feel with the panic or don't panic. Twan, do you have one more player that you want to toss in here?
Yes. Are we going to panic on Tyreek Hill after what happened with Tua?
No.
Okay. Is he a wide receiver 1?
Fringe, but yes.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm not is because regardless of the quarterback, if you just tell him to run straight, not many defenders can run with him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it takes a big arm to get him the ball, and I don't think Snoop Hundley or Skylar Thompson are the guys that can do that. But I just know that just like all the great players in the NFL, he's one snap away from impacting the game. And I'm not panicking on Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
You feel the same way? No. The fact you had to think about it tells me everything.
Yeah. I mean, he's Tyreek Hill is going to be in your lineup every week, right?
Yeah.
But if you drafted him top 3 pick, top 4 pick, top 5 pick, you're going, fuck. That's a big hit. That's like a big hit. So
absolutely.
A little bit. Again, I'm just kind of displeased with how everything worked out if I'm a Tyreek Hill owner.
For sure. Well, this is just a panic or don't panic after week 2. We'll be back with more fantasy updates and our power rankings after week 4. To hear our breakdown for our fantasy rankings this week, please go and check out our fantasy rankings episode. Peace, love, 5 stars, nothing less.